So years ago, I used to think that millionaires were this elite group of people and they looked really different or that they would stand out in a crowd. And I later found out as I got older that millionaires are very, very common people. In fact, chances are you'll probably walk down the street every single day and pass a handful of millionaires. Obviously, it depends on where you live, because where you live will dictate how frequently you will come in contact with millionaires. But I've learned habits of millionaires over the years, and thanks to reading many different books on building wealth, um, investing, starting businesses, and just actively working to increase my income and actively exposing myself to a different group of people than where I grew up. Thankfully, I encountered a number of different millionaires over the years, and I just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that I have learned over the years, different habits of millionaires that I've actually implemented into my life, either all the time or at least part of the time. And it has absolutely helped me to reach a seven-figure net worth. And so I just wanted to share some of these different tidbits of habits from millionaires that I've learned over the years. In fact, um, did you guys know that millionaires, most of them are actually self-made millionaires? Like most millionaires have actually created their own wealth versus having won the lottery or, um, received an inheritance and stuff like that. So I thought that that was very, very encouraging for anybody because, much like myself, most people don't start off with really any money. And if you're like me, you had minimal financial education, limited opportunities, but we're going to hopefully change that for you guys in this video. So if you guys enjoy content like this, definitely do your boy a favor, drop a quick like, just smash that thumbs up on this video, and consider subscribing to the channel because this is pretty much what I'm gonna talk about all the time: making money, building wealth, strategizing, um, and life, right? So let's see, where do I start here? So let's talk about the very first habit that I think is very, very important. And all of these habits that I'm going to share with you guys, they're all important, but how important they are to you will vary on your particular situation. So the most important millionaire habit that you need to figure out, that you need to implement in your life today, it might be the first one, it might be the fifth one, it might even be the 10th one that I share with you. But every one of these habits for building wealth, and increasing your net worth and creating generational wealth for you and your family, uh, they're all going to be important. So definitely listen to this video all the way through because I want to share some nuggets with you guys. Now, I found that millionaires basically came into roughly four different categories, like when it comes to their approach to their money. So some are basically saver kind of investors. Some are big company climbers, like they start off maybe as a grocery store bagger and then work their way all the way up to like a CFO of a company. Some are just pretty much like virtuosos and entrepreneurs is probably the fourth category. Now, I kind of fell into the saver investor category slash entrepreneur because I didn't really want to, like, once I realized really what I wanted to do with myself, I realized I wasn't trying to really climb the corporate ladder. I wanted to make as much money as possible without necessarily tying myself to a job and being married to a job because I knew ultimately I wanted the money, but I didn't want to necessarily work every minute of my life at a job behind somebody else's desk. And more than three quarters, about 80% of the people I've encountered, they accumulated their wealth over time. So that was really, really good to hear. And, for saver investors, it usually takes them about an average of 32 years to become a millionaire. And more millionaires are actually being created every single year. In fact, with inflation and with the Fed raising interest rates, asset values have fluctuated quite a bit, and it has actually accelerated how many millionaires have been created over the last 3 to 5 years. It's pretty sick. Another millionaire habit that I realized is that they love what they do. Most millionaires, they reported that they enjoy what they do for a living, And I literally just had a conversation with my own personal financial advisor. And everybody needs a financial. Everyone needs a coach. Even Michael Jordan, uh, LeBron James, they all have coaches. So I have a coach too. And basically, I was having a conversation with her today, and I literally told her I have to love what I do. Like, there's some changes that I'm going to be making in my own life, even now, that are going to make me a happier person. And with increased happiness, you can make more money. 6 out of 10 people, um, 6 out of 10 millionaires described their work as their dream or their passion, right? So they're pretty passionate about what they do. And think about it. If you play video games, like you could probably, if you're a video gamer, um, and I used to be a huge video gamer for years, I would play video games for like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, 10 hours at a time and not even realize it. And the thing is time almost doesn't exist when you do what you love. And the same thing applies when it comes to building wealth and doing what you love in terms of income generation. Entrepreneurs, they basically convert their passions into successful business ideas. And the average net worth of successful entrepreneurs that I've actually encountered over the years is roughly $7 million. And that's a great example. But how do you do it? Well, when you love what you do, it's easy to do it. Um, anyway, so another habit that I realized is that millionaires are always learning. I don't know how many of you guys listen to Ty Lopez, but that dude is brilliant, and I'm very thankful to have discovered his information years and years and years ago. And a lot of people give him flack, but I think he offers a very good service and different programs, but he gives away a lot of free information. And what I learned from him is that, and what I learned from many other millionaires and successful people, is that millionaires are always learning. The majority of millionaires, generally speaking, never stop learning. They never stop growing, and millionaires never stop improving. And about 90% of people, millionaires that I have had the privilege of talking to and interviewing and asking questions, have essentially said that they read every single day to increase their knowledge about their job, about their industry, about whatever field that they're in. They're always trying to be better. And about 80-90% of them reported that they read a minimum of 2 books a month. I'm a little short on that. I'm a little short on that 2 books a month reading standard. So I'm a little bit below average on that. But about 60% reported that they enjoyed listening to audiobooks or podcasts while they commuted to work, during exercise, or doing housework. Now, if I count my Audible subscriptions, I am probably getting close to 1 book a month, because I generally will listen to Audible quite a bit, and I'm covering a lot of material in that. And this mindset comes from like this desire to increase education. And a lot of millionaires, they understand the value of education. And education is not necessarily going to college or anything like that, but education, whatever form you decide to take it, is still education as long as it's valuable to you. And the cool thing about it, because I was not a straight A student. One of the cool things I realized about millionaires is that a lot of them, about 70-80% of the millionaires, they said that they were like B and C students in school. And only about 25% of them actually said that they went to graduate school. So, I think that was really, that was very motivational to me, for someone who wasn't the best in school. Not that I couldn't have been better, I just didn't care. I just wanted to get out. And about a little over half of the millionaires just worked their way through school. Health. Now, I hit the gym daily, even on my off days. Like, I'm not taking an off day. I'm gonna go to the gym, probably just do some light cardio, sit in a sauna, and maybe chill by the pool. I prioritize my health, and that's what most millionaires do. If you're healthier, you're spending less money on hospital bills. If you're healthier, you're living longer. If you're able to live longer, chances are you made more money. And if you're healthier, you can work more hours in a day. Now, remember, working more hours in the day doesn't necessarily mean you're doing work that you don't enjoy. I do work that I enjoy, and I'm doing it more and more. And the healthier I am, the more I can do what I enjoy. Um, Basically, I fatigue less. I don't get as tired as most people do. I don't get as sick. I don't get sick as often as most people do. I probably get sick like every 2-3 years. And if I do get sick, I'm down for like 2 days and I'm back. So I prioritize my health, eat quality foods. Um, you know, um, I don't drink sugary drinks. I drink mainly water or supplements, which are water based. And, I'm training daily. I'm getting my cardio in. I'm very active, you know. So that's me. Millionaires also enjoy investing in their communities, and they're willing to help and mentor other people. And one of the things I learned from Ty is that you generally want to hang out with like, some people that are below you, some people that are on your level, and then some people who are ahead of you. And basically, you level up by hanging out with people who are ahead of you in the direction that you're trying to go. And that's them. Like you're basically being mentored, so to speak, by people who are ahead of you. And then you hang out more so with people who are kind of like on your level. Like that's probably where your comfort zone is. But at the same time, I also like to hang out with people who are below me. Not like I like to look down on people, but by hanging out with people who are below you, you can do what the people who are ahead of you are doing. So basically, people who are ahead of me are mentoring me. And if I hang out with some people who are below me or behind me, I'm able to mentor them and help pull them forward. And so it's like, it's this cycle of paying it forward. Philanthropy, that's a big focus for millionaires. And another way millionaires got involved in their communities is by taking part in different electoral processes, right? So understanding what's coming up in your community, like, different zoning changes, being involved in your HOA, what's coming down the pipeline. What do you need to know that's going to be changing in your community and in your city, that you need to know about before everybody else discovers and it's too late? Helps you be ahead of the curve. Maybe you need to reposition your business. Different things, come up by being involved in the community. The majority of self-made millionaires are passionate about mentoring others. I love seeing people come up personally, and to come, to see someone starting from like sometimes, with no knowledge or no direction, and it kind of get someone going and knowing that the information and the guidance that you might have shared with them could very well change the trajectory of that person's life and the life of their family and their children. That's highly impactful, and I think that just puts good favor in the universe for you going forward. Millionaires are normally, another habit of millionaires is that we're normally frugal. Now, me personally, I am always, not always, I frequently do go over the budget, maybe every 6 months to a year. And I look at what can I eliminate? What can I reduce? What can I renegotiate out of my budget? Can I reduce my insurance somehow? Do we need all of this cable TV channels? In fact, we removed cable TV just last month. So we don't have cable TV. We have high-speed internet access and a couple of streaming services, and we're saving $200 a month by that decision, which is about $2,400 a year. And that money can now be redirected into investments and other things that yield a much better value than wasting time watching TV. Because not only is TV wasting $200 a month, in my case, any amount of time I'm wasting watching TV is money that I'm not, it's time and effort that I'm not able to allocate to my business, toward educating myself, toward reading, toward spending time with my family. That's actually quality time versus being just kind of like droned out watching TV and whatnot. So so a big part of wealth building is really focusing on frugality, avoiding lifestyle creep. You know, um, a couple of my friends have asked me, dude, when you gonna get a new car? And I'm like, I would like to get a new car, kind of, but right now, to be honest with you, even as a car enthusiast, there's not a whole lot of cars out here that really motivate me to want to go get them. And for how much some of these cars are, to me, the value is not there. And depending upon like which car I would go and purchase, it's like all of the uh, you kind of you get into a marriage with a car. So if you get something really nice, depends on the manufacturer and how much you drive, you could significantly increase your monthly expenses beyond just the purchase of the car. Do I really want to subject myself to that? Not really. Not for what's really out here right now. Um, Probably about 60% of millionaires describe their houses as modest. You know, so that's most millionaires have a very modest house. All of the almost all the millionaires that I have talked to actually own their houses. Um, and so home ownership is a very key habit among millionaires. I have yet to I have yet to talk to or meet a millionaire who is a renter of their primary residence. So thought that was interesting. And this frugal mindset, it also extends to their off time, right? And basically, almost all of them said that they spent less than $6,000 a year on vacations. Um, Maybe less than half of them spent less than $3,000 a year on vacations. Me personally, I probably spend maybe around $10,000 a year on vacations. That's probably about accurate, but that's just me. And these are averages. Not everybody's going to be hitting the exact average. I rarely just do things randomly. Millionaires tend to plan ahead, and probably about 75% of millionaires, they work an average of 58 hours a week. I probably work about at least 60, if not 80 hours a week, but it's more on things that I enjoy doing. Now, there's parts of business, parts of entrepreneurship that I don't necessarily enjoy, but for the most part, I enjoy the time that I put in. I probably wake up at least a good couple hours before my workday starts, and I usually like to get my workouts in, my training sessions in, before I really, really start the day. Once the day starts, most millionaires, they keep a to-do list to make sure that they're hitting their targets every single day. Because if you're hitting your daily targets, then you're going to hit your weekly targets. And if you're hitting your weekly targets, you're going to hit your monthly targets. If you're hitting your monthly targets, you're going to hit your quarterly targets. And if you're hitting your quarterly targets, chances are you're going to hit your yearly targets. And that's how you win. And these are the things that millionaires do. Millionaires, they build strong teams. Like, most millionaires are not becoming a millionaire by themselves on their own. They had help. Majority of millionaires, they create a community of like positive, goal-oriented people, which really help keep them motivated and on the right track. And probably about 80% of them said that they hired a team of smart, dedicated individuals that rely on, that they rely on to help achieve their personal visions, including attorneys, which I've hired, CPAs, which I have on payroll or on retainer, marketing professionals, financial advisors, which I literally just had a meeting with today. So building a strong team is so important. And you build your team over time. And, it's going to be trial and error. Some people aren't going to be a good fit. But when you do find your good team, it's kind of like the A-team. You guys could pretty much handle everything. If you guys remember the A-team back in the day. But also, millionaires are very intentional with their money. Ain't a whole lot of just frivolous spending going on. Regardless of what the media would let you believe, millionaires ain't just, for the most part, not all of them, but most of the millionaires I've ever met, They're not just balling out of control, shopping every single day. Like probably about half of the self-made millionaires that I've met, they're like saver investors, and they save at least 20% of their income from basically the first day that they started working. And I've met some millionaires that are literally living off of 20% of their income, and they're saving and investing 80% of their income. Very, very stark difference between the millionaire habits and the habits of an everyday Joe, who basically just lets life rule him versus having some degree of control and structure financially. Most millionaires also have more than one source of income. In fact, probably about 60% of millionaires have at least 3 streams of income. About half of millionaires got about 4 streams of income, and about a third of millionaires have a minimum of 5 streams of income. So increasing your income sources is definitely a valuable habit, and especially if you can get your income sources kind of like on semi-autopilot, that's the key to winning. Because if you only have one income source, that's like riding on a unicycle. If you get a flat, you got to stop, right? But if you're driving a vehicle with 18 wheels on it, it's a lot more difficult to stop that vehicle. You could swap one of the wheels that are failed with a wheel that is good. You can kind of move some things around. Basically, it doesn't stop the show. And millionaires they embrace failure. And I can attest to having failed so many different times at so many different things, and I just didn't think I was ever going to be able to become successful at anything. And I almost gave in to my failures. But every time I would almost give in to my failures, I would feel like this emptiness. Like, well, if I don't keep trying, then what else is there? Like, what else is left? And I know that every time I got back on the bike, every time I got knocked down and I got back up, I immediately felt better about being back in the game, about knowing I'm chasing something that I genuinely believe is worthwhile, and that made me more ambitious. And by going after something, it gives this feeling in you. I don't even know how to explain it, but by going after something, it's like looking forward to a vacation, or looking forward to something that you want to happen. Maybe looking forward to payday, looking forward to a vacation, looking forward to your birthday, looking forward to eating like your favorite meal. There's something about that anticipation that is such a good feeling. And I only get that feeling, I wouldn't get that feeling if I had given up. So by going after something, I have this constant feeling of anticipation, and it's a really good motivational feeling to have. Probably about 2/3 of millionaires, they indicated that they took calculated risks as they built their wealth, and I definitely can attest to that. I'm one of them. 27% said that they had failed at least once in business. I have had at least 5 or 6 business failures. But guess what? Even with all of those failures, all you needed was one successful business, and all of those failures no longer matter. So I like those odds. Wait, so I could fail 5, 6 times, and then on the 7th attempt, kill it, and like, who cares about the last failures? It's like talking to girls, right? If you get rejected by like 10 girls, but the 11th one is interested in you, the last 10 rejections don't even matter. That's the way I like to see it. That's the way I like to think about it. But millionaires, they don't let failures deter them. More than probably about 90% of millionaires, they're actively working toward one major goal at any given time. And almost all of them attributed their success to staying positive and having a very clear vision of their future, especially when times are tough. Well, guys, I just want to share these millionaire habits with you. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this conversation. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If you made it this far in the video, do your boy a favor, share it with somebody who needs to hear this information. Drop a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one.